Hi there. How's it going? It's been several hours. Spent some time hugging animals, saying I'm not a monster, handling some other affairs. Put the game aside until I went out for a walk. Started contemplating, who the fuck is going to be the mortal character that answers my prompt, and the situation surrounding it. Also, I've changed to the D6, because for the time being I got the window open, and this is going to be more legible. We will be rewarded when a train comes. I have to cut the footage. In order for me to answer the prompt, though, or rather, in the process of answering the prompt, I went into a spiral of what the fuck Clovis is like. A life, or unlife, rather, is like in Charles Town. Because as it turns out, I have sent Clovis to an area with which I have great familiarity. Not just being a South Carolinian, not just having studied history extensively, including the history of the state, not just having worked at a museum for several years. It kind of just stacks on and on. So something I also ended up doing when I got back from the walk is reviewing some of my personal papers, the personal collection, that have not been dusted off, have not been read for several years. All this to try to figure out what the fuck, how Clovis adapted, what he experienced when he came to South Carolina, to the coastal region, rather than the backcountry I'm more familiar with, and how other settlers perceived him. So, before I even roll these dice, it's gonna be chat time. Yippee! As always, timestamps in the comments, or the video description rather, so you can fling to the next roll, because I'm also going to handle like resolving, like this is all part of like resolving the current roll, the current prompt. So, Clovis spends some time in Istanbul. It's not for him. After a sit down with his servants at the time and contemplating the situation, decides he is going to head to the New World. He goes to Barbados and joins initial settlers heading for Charles Town. And he basically buys his way in. He would be regarded as, okay, a noble of some distaff lineage, pallid, so he's got the blood sickness, right? He's just... He's out here to rug it out, you know, with his servants and his wealth, and he's gonna be gone soon. Like, no one can, like, really track down his true heritage. He's got a weird way of speaking, so he's probably from Spain or France or Italy of some kind, and just, you know, or maybe he's putting on some sort of weird affectation. His home doesn't really do windows. He's got a spacious home. He's traveled with his servants, and he keeps odd hours. That said, he has very keen night eyesight, wondrous perception, and seemingly tireless, despite his portly stature. He does not go hungry, and you would think that, well, he must have done some hunting in the old world, you know? He must be familiar with firearms of some kind. That must be what it is, because he has a propensity of bringing back all manners of elk. No one knows that he can outrun an adult elk through the devil's footsteps. But no one needs to know that. Why would anyone suspect he could run that fast? Marshlands? Coastal region? Fuck it. Gotta supplement the food somehow. There's not enough people to eat. That might be in part why the first settlement failed. So, Clovis comes over, fucking big dick Clovis, thinks he's got this shit. You know, he's got money, he's got so much knowledge, he's gonna make this work, he's gonna be the ruler of this new region, just an entire, like, new, huge servant pool. Everyone will answer to Mr. Pendleton. However, Clovis doesn't understand a fuck about profit. Like, he's done small-time purchases for himself, and his servants have done small-time purchases for himself, but indigo and tobacco and cotton? What? What? Why would those be valuable? Why would anyone care about those? And so his investments are squandered. And so begrudgingly, reluctantly, he gets a grasp of how he could turn the land and his situation into a profit. What people these days find valuable, which is not something he had ever spent time considering before. So, first settlement fails. He gets in on the next settlement. Other people regard him as, the same, like, peculiarities that I just mentioned. He keeps strange hours. His home has very few windows. He's a portly man, a bit pallid. Always wears, like, he's bespectacled. It's hard to get a glimpse of his eyes. He means well. He's strong, incredibly so. He does hunting of some kind, even at night. So he makes for, like, a great watchman. Doesn't seem to have good business sense. Speaks with a strange accent. He's all right people. And there are so few folks who are also skilled in, being a physician. Yeah. This, people make mistakes out here, but it's not a mistake that got him killed. He's in the second settlement. Nobles, I mean, it doesn't matter what his heritage here is. He's out here roughing it with us. And, man, damn, he's really good at people, isn't he? Yes, he is. He just knows the right way in situation to, not really like conversation, but there definitely has to be some of that noble upbringing in him, because he just knows how to direct people. And there's just some about him that, especially if you've been disobedient, maybe it's that. So, something else here too. Folks of all religious backgrounds were welcome here, so long as you believed in God. Protestants of the varied flavors, Catholics, Jews, Abrahamic religions. Welcome aboard. So long as you believe in God, by those standards, and so long as you're willing to rough it out here, by varying standards depending on your wealth and social influence, welcome in. So him being a Catholic wouldn't held that much against him, but that must be like why he was like, must be why he's so stern, like just a Catholic upbringing. He's a good man, this Mr. Pendleton. And so, prisoners, your sentence, if we don't want to exile you or dismember you or slay you for your varying crimes before God, violations of any commandments, you'll do your sentence with Mr. Pendleton. He'll take care of it. Servants who need a refresher course, slaves who need to be broken, wives who need to be handled as well. Send them to Mr. Pendleton. He's really good with people. And after you send someone to Mr. Pendleton once, they really don't want to go back to him. They don't really discuss why either. Just like, well, yeah, he's pretty effective. Like, there doesn't appear to be like any long-lasting, like, permanent injuries on the body. These folks can still do their service just fine. In case of criminals, boy, they've been rehabilitated. All right. Send him Mr. Pendleton. So he wants to be like a physician slash like shadow ruler, and other settlers are like, well, he doesn't have good business sense, but he does have skills we need. He puts food on the table. Good for him. He's not like a leech on our resources and supplies. He can patch people back up, though we haven't spent this for any prompt. He does have a lengthy history in that. He knows a lot of things about a lot of things, like dabbles and stuff. Not too knowledgeable about the New World, but he's a quick learner. But his best skills are with people, and a colony like raising up like this, particularly since Charles Town was so like planned and organized, so methodical, like someone like Clovis, someone like Mr. Pendleton. He's got a niche all of his own. So rather than having a plantation where he grows crops, or rather than dealing with like good speculation, like the buying and selling of stuff, you know, he doesn't handle like sending off like indigo or cotton or tobacco, as I mentioned earlier. And in the 1700s, the fur trade is going to go big in South Carolina, and that's more like how like the backcountry helps getting up to par with the rich coastal regions. A bit more of history. So in the early 1700s, the rich coastal like region of South Carolina is like, okay, we need a fucking like a buffer state. We need like a border. Like, fuck this shit. And so settlers go out into the frontier, like the low country of South Carolina, what ends up being the backcountry, these lowlands areas, and they are a buffer state. Like, they're the ones who can eat native attacks. They're the ones who can eat the Spaniards, like, manipulating, like, natives and what have you. They're the ones who can prep and prepare the way out west, too. And eventually, when the land is cleared, and as the fur trade kicks up, the back country stops being so backward, and starts contributing as well economically in the Carolinas. Right, so all that thought there, which we digested, it came to me as I was walking, helped to like settle me on like who Clovis is now and how other people see him, which leads us to the prompts of how we got here. You have helpless people put in your charge. Mr. Pendleton, handle this for us. He's such a great night watchman to patrol and protect the settlement, because he keeps his weird hours. He can patch you up if you, like, you come in from, like, the dark, like, wounded, like, you need assistance. He has a great familiarity with mendicants, although he is from the old world and is adapting to, like, the reagents here. And he has such a way with people, you know? There's no longer the disarming smile. It's a wordless fear that he puts in people that transcends language. And so, he's the one who oversees, like, helping people perform better, efficiency standards in the colony of Charles Town. Now, how he ends up becoming a target with our third hit of Prompt 47 ends up delving into local Native American tribes. So the Westo Native Americans originated from Virginia and ended up migrating to the Savannah River as settlers just continued to expand and prosper in Virginia. The Westo Indians, due to like where they came from and their willingness to wheel and deal, were well equipped with European firepower, and they made great profit by raiding other Native American tribes like the Kusabo, and selling those folks they captured to settlers. The Westo Indians later became extinct because the settlers realized, hey, we can't make deals with other indigenous tribes because they all hate that we trade with this one tribe. This appears to be a bottleneck, and there's a lot more of the other tribes than there are this one tribe. So that's how that fell out of favor. So the Kusabo were also in this region, and settlers like end up making peace with them later. But for a time, like the initial, like the founding of the first settlement and the second settlement, that was not the case. So it's most likely that like the Native American, like the indigenous populations that the people that excuse me, that Clovis acquires. The Westo Indians could have acquired them from anywhere, like even like around like the Florida region, but close regional sort of thing, something that I can grasp. Kusabo. And you can imagine like these folks when they're given free time, just a scene of something they did to depict that for you, playing lacrosse. Because lacrosse was something that that missionaries and explorers who came to this region like beheld. Like the people here like playing a ball game, which lacrosse. I'm not a lacrosse historian, so I can't delve more into that for you. But there's that tidbit. Yay! Right. So the Kusabo tribe raids. Sorry. Damn. I'll just read the memory. The Kusabo tribe attacks Clovis's manor outside Charles Town to free his captives, to free the people that the rest of Charles Town just like funnels there for training, re-education, and obviously slay him. In the process, there is an individual who isn't among like the warriors who attack him, but one of the folks he has there enslaved who impresses him. She does that because she's actually able to kill two of his servants who are distracted suitably by, holy fuck, we're being attacked. And she wounds him. And I started thinking, like, when's the last time Clovis has actually been wounded? Like, hurt? And the answer is, he probably doesn't know. It would have been sometime in England, as if anyone in Rome could possibly have hurt him, right? And no incident really popped up during his cup of coffee in Istanbul. And, like, him, you can visualize him, like, this portly, like, hunter playing with his food, like, isn't this cute? You think you can do something against me? And whether it's, like, through, like, a fireplace poker, whether, like, through, like, a shard of glass, whether it's through, like, whatever she fucking does, like, actually scores a hit against him. And there's no, like, look of surprise on Clovis's face. There's no, like, you made me bleed my own blood. The feral nature instantly comes out. The devil's footsteps. She's downed. And then there is a whirlwind of activity when, you know, other settlers and, like, supporters come to, like, help the manor house that's being, you know, raided. They are able to contribute a little bit. But it seems as if Mr. Pendleton manages to resolve this. Not because he is a terrifying fighter, right? We don't have that as a skill, because if he applies himself, this portly fellow is supernaturally quick. Again, can outrun an elk, right? 40, 45 miles per hour. There you go. If you don't know how fast what an adult one travels. In terrain unfamiliar to him. At night, because he has great, certainly he's got better vision there than during the day. Not that we have keen vision out here too, but feral nature. Per prompt log, he's embraced that. Vampire. And he's really hungry, and he likes to eat. Gotta supplement that human blood intake somehow. And not really bothered by some other things have vampires super bothered by eating other substances. I don't really see why that has to be a thing here. But blood is what he needs to survive, but he can enjoy other things too. Fuck you. So yeah. No one else impresses him. She's the only one who wounds him, and after he recovers from his initial fury, the callous evaluator of life kicks in, and he's like, well, damn. She's impressive, huh? Yeah, okay. Yeah, we'll make use out of her. He starts flipping through his arcane manuscripts and starts delving through his own personal lore of how he would resolve a situation like this. Yeah, I'll enthrall her. It's and then her blood will intermingle with that of my servants, and give it a generation or two. Now he's thinking servant breeding here, because he's back to being the director. Yeah, I'll be stronger for that, and she'll end up being my mouthpiece for other indigenous populations, and for those who remember her and the whole attack the Kasabo tribe led against my home. Let it be a statement. The wordless fear, of you not being sure exactly what I can do. So that's how we have Samara. Obviously not her real name. It's what Mr. Pendleton is calling her. A native of irrelevant heritage. It's Kasabo, but it's irrelevant to Clovis. And she's rewarded after after wounding me during an surprise attack. He didn't see it coming. As if. Who would dare to attack Mr. Pendleton's manor? What a foolish thought that would be. And yet, there was a tribe which did dare to free captives. They're dead or having retreated with horror stories. And Samara is now in a position of prominence and power. Imagine how, the other servants feel, the other living ones. Was sort of as Clovis, the callous evaluator of life, and the director recalibrates the situation. And imagine the glory and prestige that might be, the wonderment with the other settlers, and how effective Mr. Pendleton is at handling people. Okay, that was a great deal of bloviating. That really did consume the walk. It was not a relaxing walk so much as a thoughtful walk. And I hope this time with someone who has local to the area Clovis is now in. Not local. I'm not a Charlestonian. Nearabouts. Hopefully you garnered something, and we can move on. That answers the prompt. Maybe next prompt, we'll fucking leave. And I'll stop rooting Clovis so much in fucking history, because I can move him somewhere I don't really know anywhere about. Should have moved him to Brazil. Damn it. Opportunity missed. Enough of answering this fucking prompt. Let's go. 3 minus 1 takes us to 2. That'll be 49. Yum. What simple practical skill proves invaluable in your strange existence? How did you learn it? Create a skill. Okay, this must be a pretty swift one. Yeah, I think so. Let's pull up the character sheet. This is prompt 49, and that is 47 plus 2. Yeah, Grimith? Just to check to confirm that. Splendid. So, I think I'm just gonna call this hunting. I could, like, spiral this into, like, food prep, or, you know, something for, like, woodland shit. No, let's just move on with this prompt. We'll call it hunting. And, we'll say this is for, like, just described how that is. Like, Clovis has not really been someone who's been active out in... I mean, he's lived in small towns. Sub-2,000 people. Villages, really. Bedfordshire. Luton. But someone else has always provided the meat. Well, now he's out here. And baby, he's provided the meat. It's fucking kind of creepy the more you think about it. Hunting. We'll say that he is a... hunter. Of animals. Wink. Yeah, that's what he's hunting. It's totally, yep. Looks at all flesh must be eaten. Don't worry about it. That's something he can do. It's something he hasn't done, right? Right? That's what the book says, right? So, where the hell we put this in our memories? 3, 3, 3, 3, 2. Well, how this shit fits. Can't really wedge this with 5. It's time for an experience that goes into a new memory. So, what the hell do we move? Or just forget? I think we're going to go ahead and write 3 in the diary. It's something that, you know, it was a really great memory. But Clovis is out here making new memories about devouring things. Still, he wants to be able to look back on those good times and remember, right? So after my flight from London to Rome, I fall into slumber within my new home while waiting for my servants to learn the local language. Let's also forget about the 100 years I was in Torpor, right? Let's just move on from that. Again, like, he can't remember this shit himself. Ostensibly, like, his servants are there to help him remember, too. But maybe they just don't want to bring it up. Per the mechanics of the game, like, the only way your vampire is able to access this knowledge is by reading in the diary. And everything that's in the diary, the vampire accepts as truth. Once it's put in a diary, it can't be removed. After my flight from London to Rome, I fall into slumber within my new home while waiting for my servants to learn the local language. The people here deride my clumsy attempt at socialization. Their blood is just as sweet. I confess to becoming a gourmand here, and I've gained considerable weight sampling everything Rome has to offer. See, I thought this would be a swift prompt, but now I'm looking at memories that I might want to shift around. These two just matter enough to me that I want them to remain anchored in Clovis's head. This one now involves, like, our current, like, location and situation, and so I don't want to remove that. This is just the immediate stuff that happened, so I don't want to remove that. Which leaves me by default with this memory. And I'm not going to forget it. Those were happy times. So we'll just put in the diary. We'll say that life in the new world has forced me to pick up an ancient yet timeless skill. Craft. That of the hunter. Okay. Cool. It didn't actually even take that much time, despite all the fucking waffling around I did with, like, the memories and shit. Alright, yeah. Yeah, let's just... well... I call this, like, Woodlands Hunter? Lowlands Hunter? I know what that means. He's just not, like, a universal hunter. What the hell? Let's make it more flexible. Universal hunter. Hunter. Right? Don't worry about it. It's fine. Just animals. You can catch an elk. No big deal. One minus 5. We go back 4, which takes us to 45. Your body is undergoing further corruption and change. When do you first notice these new changes? Create a mark. All right. Let's flip back to our character sheet. Actually, gotta grab a second mark here. As Clovis's body twists. Now, let me look back here in the... just to refresh myself on what all a mark entails. Okay, we'll pull the source book back up for this. A mark is a visible indication of your vampire's undying state, or any other thing that sets them apart from mortal people. Never bleeding wound on the throat, eyes that are blank and white, a trailing specter, a ferocious scar, a hollow abdomen full of... hollow abdomen? Really, Grimith? A mark is something your vampire carries for their entire existence. When creating a mark, consider whether your vampire conceals it and how. So I'm thinking, because of Clovis's extensive diet, that his teeth become more like those of a carnivore rather than those of an omnivore. His jaw shifts, and his teeth sharpen. Not just fangs, but all of his teeth. Keeps tight-lipped, yeah? Alright. I put this in the book, yeah? Cool. Now let me think of how I want to phrase this. My jaw is elongated. My teeth are those of a carnivore. Teeth are those of a carnivore, all wicked and sharp. I wonder whether he, like, veils his face. Which is sort of like the excuse of... The noble blood disease? And so I mind when I smile. And so I mind when I open my lips. My rich diet since awakening. It's not really something he personally remembers anymore, but it is something that he has in his diary. And just based on how I write things, and with like the layering of like the memories, I'm going to interweave it. Fuck it. I've stuck to single evocative sentences, and I didn't expect to do that. Let's not write it up here. Let's do a bit of wordsmithing down here. Okay. No, Grimith, don't do that. My rich diet since awakening. Let's look at the prompt log. Your body is undergoing further corruption and change. When do you first notice these two changes? My considerable diet of flesh and sinew has prompted an evolution in my body. Is evolution a word that you would use? A shift in my body. I now possess the teeth. Bear the teeth of a carnivore. Is this how it feels? What it means to be... what it means to be superior. A bodily shift. Has elongated my teeth. Has sharpened my teeth. I would say we just has sharpened my teeth. And then semicolon. Is this what it means to be superior? Our feral nature, right? That's who Clovis has become. Yeah. 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 Alright. 2 marks now. My eyes are hypnotic, so I must wear smoke glasses. My teeth are those of a carnivore, all wicked and sharp. And so I mind when I open my lips. Really, that all wicked and sharp is... redundant, right? This isn't a super obvious mark, but it fits with... all flesh must be eaten, and what Mr. Pendleton's been getting up to since awakening from his torpor. Where else will the story of Clovis take us? The man who does need to prey on human beings for sustenance, but supplements the diet, you know? Variety, the spice of life. His body is corrupted. Yeah, that's where that goes. That's a 0. Which is a 10. 10 minus 4 is 6. We are on prompt what? 45. That takes us to 51. Let's have a look at 51. Whoosh. Oop. 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 When you hunger too much, you become a hunting creature bereft of intellect. Lose a random experience from a memory somewhere in the middle of your memory list. Well, huh. This... Do I make an experience about this too? It's not telling me not to make an experience about it. We're supposed to make an experience out of every prompt. Okay. So we gotta lose the experience. Let's copy our text. This... Man, what a... The story just fucking... that's pretty fucking good storytelling. How fucking convenient with these prompts, right? Fuck me, man. Okay, the memory list. 2 through 4. I lose a random experience? Okay. So, lose a random experience from a memory somewhere in the middle of your memory list. I get to pick the memory, I just lose the experience. Alright. Alright. Good. So, memory 2. Those are all about Clovis's sire. The first experience is how he got turned. He could forget that. The second experience, it would be how he developed the devil's footsteps. He could forget that. The third experience would be him fucking killing her. Wouldn't that be some shit if he fucking... He just didn't remember it at all? So, like, I could pick memory 2, and I would just roll a die then to see what I forget from that. Let's see here. Memory 3. That is tying into the current location. That's pretty important intel. Like, we bounced from Rome to Istanbul to Charles Town. That's important. I can't, like... That's too current! And Memory 4 is also too fucking current. Well, shit, I've kind of put myself in a fucking corner, huh? Grimith, if it's from memory too, the odds of you fucking filling out another experience in this memory is really fucking slim. Just throw that out there. I can't say it's impossible. I don't know what other prompts we might have which might tie into Samara. Are you sure you don't want to pick Memory 3? Like, what if you just get the first experience gone? And you forget that you went from, like, how did I where was I before Charlestown? No, it's got to be Memory 2! Oh! When you hunger too much, you become a hunting creature bereft of intellect. Lose a random experience from a memory somewhere in the middle of your memory list. unlife. Yeah, I can't justify 3 or 4. We need that intel right now, given our current location. That is immediately pertinent detail. Okay, 1 and 2. Experience 1, let's get the extra life die out for this. 1 and 2. Experience 1. 3 and 4 is experience 2. 5 and 6 is experience 3. We lose experience 1. We forget the transition from, like, the moment, like, we can no longer remember the moment we were made a vampire. Experience 2 would be the least worst of these to let go. We just can't remember how we picked up the devil's footsteps, and we just wouldn't associate it with our sire anymore. Grimith, there is, like, we have some gameplay interaction here, but you have already decided that it can't be 3 or 4. Because you're not willing to, like, relinquish any of that identity stuff right now. It's just, like, imagine if you picked Memory 3, and you couldn't fucking remember that you were William Pendleton. That would... Our headcanon would be in jeopardy, Grim. In Memory 4 would be really awkward. Especially given the violent nature of our character. Roll the die, Grimith. Roll it. Roll it. Right hand. Good job, Grim. It's like you fucking knew. It's like, no, I don't want to roll it. Fumbles the die. Two. He fucking forgets how he became a vampire. Oh, shit. There it goes. I don't see how I could make an experience out of this, though. It just doesn't make logical sense, given the fact that I'm becoming a hunting creature bereft of intellect. Grimith is gonna make an executive decision here and massage this prompt. And interpret it to say that there's no experience that we write for that. Yeah. I don't even fucking know what to write other than herder. Beats me. If this shatters your immersion, this is where we go our separate ways, I guess. Well, at least he remembers that she's fucking dead, right? He knows she turned him because, like, of how the rest of this memory is constructed and, like, other, like, supportive things. Like, otherwise, like, yeah, he can't remember the moment. He has memories of being human, but he can't remember the night he brought her home. Because he has become a monster. This is punishment, huh? Let's see how it is. You know? Maybe he deserves it. Maybe I deserve it too. Why am I so invested in this monster? You know what, Extra Life Die? No. You're going back over there. We ain't rolling you. 5 minus 4. 1. That takes us to 52. Let's have a look. The Beauty of the Dawn calls you. Create an additional memory slot dedicated to beauty, nature, or peace. What the fuck? Alright. Understood. I guess. Yeah, I understand. Person who says I understand, I guess. Do they actually understand? Sure. The Beauty of the Dawn calls you. Create an additional memory slot dedicated to beauty, nature, or peace. Okay, there is a train approaching as well. I'm hearing off in the distance. So why don't we just call this a cliffhanger? Yeah. Clovis has become a hunter, and then his body shifted to match that, as while the vampire body needs human blood for sustenance, he's been expanding his diet, and just he's twisted his body enough, and his body is twisting itself enough to go along with it to adapt. He's lost a random experience, and now there's Beauty of the Dawn. Yeah. I'm using this extra time to reflect here on what's transpired. 2 marks now instead of 1. We have oodles of skills I haven't checked. Clovis is incredibly skilled. This left list is the potential stuff of what he could do to solve prompts. You know, what he's capable of. That middle list is what he has done, and so we've firmly established it in, like, the lore of the game. And then the Disarming Smile has been struck off. It's just been something that's lost. Yeah. Sounds like that train's on a different track. No. It's not. That's right. Track. Multiple tracks. I'm out of here, though. I'm making tracks. Take care, everyone. Next time, I guess I reflect on the Beauty of the Dawn. I guess Mr. Pendleton out here enjoying his good times. His good fleshy times. Maybe a hunt lasts for a long time and he's nearly caught by the light. I don't fucking know. Maybe forgetting the horror. Not that, like, it was horror, like, he didn't resent being turned into a vampire. But this bit, you know, it sucked. Oh, fuck, that was a vampire! You mother...